What is up, YouTube? It's the OK Mighty Fan coming at you again from the Mighty Kingdom. Got another episode of In the Life with Mighty Fan. Got a couple topics I'd like to talk about. A couple things I want to share. So let's get right to it. We're going to have a lot of stuff jam-packed in here. So sit back, relax, enjoy, and here we go. Okay, so first of all, couple pickups. We're going to go with the jersey first and hat. We're combo wombo, you know how I do it. So anyhow, I've always said this, right, about one of the things about collecting is you look for little challenges along the way. And for me, one of those challenges that I set forth for myself, and believe me, it's become a challenge, is getting the team who wins the World Series, getting their jersey with the champ patch on there, signifying, of course, the World Series championship, and the hat to go with it. Now, the hat, I think every year I'm going to try to do the gold trim hat just because it's different. And, you know, if I can grab the World Series hat, you know, on-field fitted with it as well, it's okay. If not, I mean, it is what it is. I didn't get that for the Dodgers. I didn't get that for Atlanta. So the on-field World Series hat, but I was able to procure the gold trim. And I would like to get the gold trim hat every year just because it's different. And it is like, you know, one of those, this is the champs. This is what it is, right? It's a special hat worn for like a series or two a season, and that's it. Unless some teams may have worn it a bit more into the season. But for the most part, it's like for the opening series or to home stand or whatever it is that the defending champion will do, and they'll wear the gold trim jersey. The jersey itself does not have to be the gold trim. In fact, I would probably prefer it isn't most years. I didn't get the gold trim for the Dodgers when I started this in 2020. I had to get it for Atlanta. And I say I had to, and I give reasons for this. But let's go kind of backwards to the present, okay? So we might remember I got the Mookie Betts authentic Nike on-field jersey last year. Of course, it does have it's not the gold trim as you can see, but it does have the World Series champions from 2020. Again, this is the on-field authentic jersey for Mookie Betts, the home Dodgers. And of course, I was able to get the gold trim hat. I got the gold trim hat last year at Pro Image. Local Pro Image had them, so I picked it up. Here it is. And like I said, this is the hat I want to get every year, regardless if the jersey is gold trim or not. And like I said, most years I would rather it's not. Just one of those things. But the hat, I would like to get the gold trim every year, you know, just to kind of put it together, combo wombo it up, and there it is. Okay, so that's the 2020 champs. So, of course, we go on to 2021. Of course, last season you had Atlanta beating the Astros in the World Series, getting their first title since '95. And I'm going to get into the story a little later, but let me show you the jersey. I was able to get the gold trim. And like I said, most years I'd rather it not be the gold trim jersey, unless my Phillies win again sometime or something like that. That has a little more meaning for me. But you get what you have to get sometimes. And so I got the gold trim jersey for Atlanta. There it is. And again, the champs patch, signifying the championship from 2021. And it is a Ronald Acuna Jr. jersey. I would have rathered Riley or Albies or one of those other guys, but it is what it is. Sometimes you get what you can, and I do want to talk about that too as we move forward with this video. But it's cool, it is a nice jersey. I think Atlanta did a nice job with their gold trim. Being a Phillies fan, I can't say too much glowingness about this, but hey, whoever wins the World Series, I want to get their jersey with a champ patch on there, proclaiming the championship, and the gold trim hat. And speaking of the gold trim hat, so I got more of the flex fit for this one. I like the flex fits, the 3930s. They just always fit more comfortably on my head. And so if I get the flex fit for them, I'm happy. If I have to get the regular 5950s, I'm happy with that too. But if I have this as an option, I would gladly take it because, like I said, these are, everyone has their own, ways that they want to wear stuff. These are just always the most comfortable on me. But I have plenty of the on-field 5950s. But there is the gold trim with the gold trim. Let me turn this around. There's the gold trim with the gold trim. And the champs patch, as you can see on the hat and on the jersey right there. Boom, combo wombo, right there it is. So, all right, so I was able so far through 2 years into doing this to get the team who won the World Series their jerseys, of course, signifying the World Series. In Atlanta's case, it's the gold trim jersey. For the Dodgers, it was just a regular in-season jersey for the World Series champs. And yeah, I'm happy I was able to do that so far. I've made good with my goal. And we're gonna keep trying to do this as the years go on. I think it would be super cool someday to have like a rack or something or whatever, just full of whoever won the World Series from 2020 on. That would be pretty cool. And again, one of those things, like I said, collection within the collection. It's a little challenge for myself to try to do it, and go from there. And I love collecting baseball. I mean, as you can see. Rack full, and this is all non-Mitchell and Ness. I have the racks upstairs, and that doesn't count the Phillies jerseys, which I have of overly abundance of. How many Phillies jerseys do you need? So anyhow, let's move this from here over to the table, because I would like to talk a little bit after I show the rest of the stuff that I would like to show about the Nike jerseys. And some of the perils that have kind of come with the Nike baseball jerseys. And let me come over here, just set this up, and then I will share a few other pickups. Now we're going to get more into the lid pickups. And I actually got a pair of sneakers. I'm not a sneakerhead. I always will say that, right? I will always admit to that. I leave that up to the experts. But, every now and then there's a pair of kicks that come out that I would like to get. Not to say I always jump on them, but every now and then, when the iron's hot, you got to take advantage, right? You got to strike. So I was able to do that recently. Let's see where I can set this up where I get the best. So those of you who followed me on Views from the Vault, you know this view. From the Sports Talk show, right? Just about every... however many times we do it a month now, once or twice or whatever it is. It's not every week. We're trying to do it every other week, but sometimes things happen. But, the show, so usually I will be at my seat here with this table here and set up. And everything looks pretty good from that point on, right? We get to discuss stuff with the fellas, right? From Views from the Vault. Shout out to them as always. And shout out to the Discord page as well for Views from the Vault. Awesome stuff always on there. If you haven't joined, make sure you do. Look for Views from the Vault on Discord, and you can join in the fun with the great community that's on there. Anyhow, speaking of hats, see, that nice little segue, right? So we got the lid pickups, and I want to talk about these too. I want to talk about the City Connect jerseys from Nike and the hats. I, to this point, only have 2 hats from the City Connect series. I want to get more, but, we're going to cross that bridge when we get there. So City Connect started a year ago, obviously. Kind of the MLB kind of piggybacked on to the NBA with the City Edition jerseys, NHL with the... I always botch it. Retro. I always forget if it's retro reverse or reverse retro. We'll just say retro reverse. Line that they put out a few years ago, which they're doing again next season. NFL obviously has a lot of stuff with throwback jerseys and whatnot. My Eagles, of course. I'm looking forward to that in a couple years. The Kelly Greens are coming back, and not only the Kelly Greens, but the ones I grew up with. When I first became, an Eagle fan with that logo on the sleeve behind me, you see the full Eagle on the sleeve. Oh, they're bringing those back in a few, not this season, but next season. Yeah, there might be a few that I pick up. I know I already have so many, all the various ones Mitchell and Ness made, or some authentics from back in the day, vintage stuff. But I love that jersey, man. That's like I said, it's in the fields because I grew up with that. That's the exact jersey that I grew up with. Even when they wore the Kelly Green many years ago, when they did, what was it, the like the 50th or whatever the anniversary from the 1960 team, right? And they wore the Kelly green. But that was the older, like style Eagles jersey. Now, it wasn't long sleeve as it should have been, as they wore back in 1960, but they did a short sleeve version of it. Very cool, still very nice. I have a Mike Vick in that, but I grew up with the other one with the full eagle on the sleeve. So them bringing that look back in Kelly green, which is what me and how many other Eagle fans have been hoping for many years. I'm really excited about that, and I can't wait to get my hands on a few of those jerseys. I don't know the player yet. Who knows? Maybe Smith. Maybe whoever We'll see. But that will definitely be something that will come my way at that time, and you will see that right here on the In the Life series here on my channel. But anyhow, MLB started their City Connect deal last year. 7 different teams wore just different city-centric jerseys and hats. 7 more will be wearing them this season. I don't know if they're going to wrap it all up and have everyone else get involved next year or not. I don't know what the plan is. I know so far they've done 7. Maybe they do another 7. I don't know when my Phillies are going to do it. We'll see. But you best believe I will be getting the jersey hat combo wombo for that. I have to. That's my team, right? Some of them are hits, some of them are misses so far, and some of them actually grew on me, so I will get into that a little later, but this is the second hat that I have gotten from the series, and I will get my first jersey from that series. It was a pre-order, so it won't be coming till May, but the latest team to do it was the Houston Astros. They did a Space City look, and it looks fantastic in my opinion, and I know they're not for everybody. But the jersey that they came out with looks just super cool. It almost looks like a astronaut baseball jersey, which is just, it fits. I mean, you look at that, you think Houston, you think Astros. All trash can banging jokes aside, I get that. But didn't affect my Phillies. But no, so it's not exactly in the fields because they didn't play us. But no, that jersey and hat was probably one of my favorites in the collection so far, and I like a few of them. I really like what the Nationals did. I think both teams so far who did it this year, both of them have really just it's like they're who's trying to top each other now, right? Because they both of them I think hit home runs with their look. The Nationals did the cherry blossom deal. The Astros did the Space City deal. I love both of them, and I do want to get the Nationals. I know the jerseys are all gone now, but the hat, at some point, and if I can ever get my hands on a jersey, I would like to get that. But the hat right here is the low profile, so it's already got the curved brim, which I like. Houston Astros, so you got that logo right there, which is awesome. I love it. It just has the regular Houston H with the star, but then you got the deal going around it. Very cool, very simple, but very cool. Very effective logo right there. You have the Astros kind of little name bar on the side in that NASA font, which is very cool. The Batterman on the back, the orange squatchy, and it does have, I know Pierre is such a big fan of the black duck. There's the the Black Nasty. There's the Black Nasty UV. Of course, on-field fitteds, this, of course, being a low profile, and you got your New Era flag on the side. I really like this. Again, these jerseys and hats are not for everybody, but I think for the most part, people have really liked this look for the Astros, what they did with their Space City. I did pre-order a Jose Altuve jersey. I got a replica. The Acuna Jr. was a replica, and I'm going to get into that a little more as we go on here, but I just have a few more hats to share. And then I'll get into my little spiel about Nike, and then I want to show some of these, the newest pair of kicks that I got, and these others that I got specifically to wear the Phillies games and to wear with Phillies attire. Even though I'm not a big guy that wears the sneakers with everything, I don't go that crazy with the combo wombo. I know a lot of people do, and full respect to those who do. I couldn't. If I tried to match every jersey in my collection with sneakers, no. That said, there's a few else out there that I would like to try. The Astros is actually one of them, but it's an impossibility. I don't know where I would put all the sneakers, and I would lose the house. It would end me trying to get all those sneakers with the prices and all. It's bad enough with the jerseys and hats, so I couldn't do it with the sneakers. There's no way. But I know some in our, jersey head community and hat head community, obviously they do, and they do a great job. And like I said, I leave that to the experts. Me, I just do the jersey hat. That's what it is for me for the most part. Now, Lids HD a couple weeks back did a drop. I did get one of their Bunny Hop collection drops this past Friday. Got the Phillies one. Looking forward to that. This one was part of their the drop they did a few Fridays ago, which was the powder blue. Like any team that wore powder blue, and so this is a jersey hook, and I really wanted to get more, and it was that moment where I'm like, I really want to, but I really can't, because for me, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again. My wheelhouse for baseball collecting is the 1970s to current day, jersey-wise. That's what I love to go after. And, of course, so many teams wore powder blue back in the day, including my Phillies, which do even today as an alternate, right? Their Throwback Thursday alternate, which is the best jersey that they wear. But so many teams had that colorway, right? So Lids HD did this drop with putting hats together with all the teams that wore even the current day, even like the Red Sox for their City Connect jersey, they had a hat done. So very cool set. Oh, just so many hitters in it. But I knew this one I had to get of the whole set, and I wanted to get more, and maybe the secondary markets I can find some more some point. But I got the Cubs. This is the 1976. So for those of you who might remember, I have a Bill Madlock in this. In recent years, Mitchell and Ness put out a Bruce Sutter, which is just a powder blue Cubs jersey with Chicago across the front. And it's got the number, and it's just got the number on the back. And it's got this patch on the side, because that's the patch the Cubs wore in 1976. Just a little, Chicago, the bicentennial, of course, that year for our country. But different teams did different patches, and that was what the Cubs did. Green under, white gut right there. So this, again, was a Lids HD drop. Only available on Lids HD. Batterman on the back. New Era flag. It's got the piping on the front. All the hats did this, which was a nice touch, I thought. Again, not for everybody, but it was a little extra on there, and I liked it. And I had to get this to go with that Madlock. I do have a home Stone, Steve Stone, Cubs. This one mainly would go with the Madlock because it's the powder blue. And then at some point I would like to get the Bruce Sutter. I don't know when. That's one of the ones on my hit list that I have yet to get. But it's the same jersey as the Madlock, only different player number. And that hat would go with that too. Up next, we have a new on-field fitted for this season. Talk about extras on jerseys, I always say, right? Well, I like the extras on the hats too. And the side patch craze I'm happy for, because I like extras. I like a little extra on the hat. If it's a patch like I just showed you with that Cubs that goes with a jersey, even better. But sometimes you gotta play the market, right? So some of these side patch just get so crazy. People go nuts for. People buy them up as soon as they become available. And for collectors like me, it just becomes almost impossible to get certain hats. So this is a hat that the team is wearing on the field this season as an alternate. They've worn this for a few years now since they kind of rebranded into what they're wearing today, which is really cool. The Texas Rangers, so this is the on-field. This is a hat I wanted to get anyhow. It just that it had an extra on it made it even better. But it's your, 5950 on-field fitted. But it does have the 50th on the side, which is very cool. I love that logo, and I feel at some point this logo might move pretty quick, so you'll see different variations in the future of this Rangers hat with that logo on the side, and it's just one of those that I think eventually, people are going to start gobbling up. So, let me get it while I can, right, on the original. And already some of these hats sold out real quick. This one I almost missed out on, but I'm glad I didn't. And then this one, I think, and I got the Phillies one too. I forgot to bring it down, but I have the 3930 of the Phillies. This is the 5950 regular on-field fitted. I think this is like the batting practice hat that teams are wearing this year. I like it. I like that logo. The design, rather, the home plate design that they went with. You got the Angry Cardinal right there, which this logo has just taken over every Cardinals hat. And there is one just navy blue Cardinal hat just with that on the front of it that I've been meaning to get for like over a year, and it hasn't happened, and then I get this one. But I still want the navy one, but there he is looking mean, right? Just, solid red colorway. All of them is all these from the set are solid colorways, but still very cool. I like the home plate, design. I got the Phillies one. I have the 3930, the more flex fit of it. It just has the Liberty Bell on the front. Very cool. I'll share that in a future video. But at any rate, those are my MLB pickups and latest and greatest in the hat collection, right? So, yeah, like I said, the Altuve was pre-ordered. Yeah, I should have it in May. And the jersey to go with that hat. So, but the hat actually I got from NewEra.com. I got from right from their shop, online store, because, as soon as it hit, I'm like, yeah, I have to grab that. And I waited like momentarily when they put out the Nationals one, which I know is available again now in Fanatics and Lids and whatnot, and it sold out within it was gone, and I'm like, damn. So as soon as the Astros hit, I'm like, oh, that's gonna happen. And shout out to Hatcrawler, on Discord, because he has a page on there as part of the Views from the Vault page, community on there, alerts you to new releases, and I just happened to see it right when it got released on New Era's web because of what he posted on there, and I was able to grab one in my size. So, shout out again to Hatcrawler. But I do want to talk a little bit about the Nike jerseys. And I did mention that I grabbed, you saw the Acuna Jr. in the gold trim, which was a replica version of it, and also the Altuve City Connect Space City jersey, which I can't wait to get. That's just super cool. I went with the replica for that too. I would always rather and prefer, I should say, to have the authentic. I think, and I've said this before, baseball is the one sport which of all of them that I really would love to have the authentics for. Basketball, football, hockey, they still look good to me. They still feel good on me. Replica, authentic, whatever. If I get an authentic, I'd get an authentic. But a lot of times I just go for the replica or swingmans in those because they're, A, more affordable and I can get more, and B, it's just that, I really don't have an issue with it. They feel good on me. They look good and feel good on me, so I go in that vein with them. But baseball, I always wanted to do authentics because baseball, to me, again, there's a lot with those jerseys. You have the feel of it, you have the material, you have the extras on some jerseys that you don't have on the replicas. There might be a patch, there might be a logo on the sleeve that you don't have on the replicas. So I prefer to have the authentic where I can. And I was going to do that with the Braves gold trim jersey, but then the price. The biggest issue that I take with Nike so far with what they've done since they've taken over for MLB is the price point for their authentics is just outrageous. It really makes no sense to me. They're the most expensive jerseys. They're more expensive than hockey authentics. There's more material in hockey authentics. They're long sleeve. They're heavier. The way the numbers and the crest is stitched. Sometimes you have stitching within the crest of the for those hockey jerseys. The numbers on the sleeves, a logo, anything like that. There's just more going on in those hockey jerseys. And the baseball, and I know Adidas runs that, but the baseball jerseys are more expensive for Nike, are more expensive than hockey authentic jerseys. Obviously, when it comes to Nike, I like their price point for the NBA. I think it's fair. I think it's affordable for the most part. I think you can get authentics when they're available, and not feel like you're paying an arm and a leg. NFL, and again, I don't really dabble with authentics as much, but even that, I think it's a fair price point. When I look at baseball, and I look at and the other problem I take with baseball is the price fluctuates by team. And that just, when you look at the NBA, for the most part, NFL, NHL, it's one price point across the board. Doesn't matter what the team is, whatever this or that, you know what you're going to pay. For baseball, you just don't know. Baseball, it's like they're going to just, okay, well, there's extra words on this front, so now or letters rather, on this name, so now we're going to charge a little extra. Just, it doesn't make any sense. The Milwaukee Brewers, if you look at on Fanatics, and I don't have one of those systems where I can kind of show you as I'm talking, but you go to Fanatics, you search the Milwaukee Brewers page on there, right? And you go to jerseys, you go to men's jerseys on there, and you just do a search, price point, high to low. Their jerseys across the board are not the same. It varies. First of all, they're all high priced. Even ones from a few years ago with an anniversary patch from a few years ago, right? They're not on clearance. So if you look at the Brewers jerseys, the Brewers that have Milwaukee across the front are over $400. The jerseys that have Brewers across the front are under $400. It's like, what are we doing? Just for a few extra letters, we're going to charge over $400. It makes no sense. It really makes no sense to me. First of all, the price point is cracked. It's absolutely ridiculous. You should not have to pay, in some cases, close to $500 for a jersey. It wasn't. These are yes, they're authentic, but these were not worn on the field by the players. These are replications of what the players wear. You're not getting the actual jersey, that Bryce Harper wore on the field. You're wearing a replication of it, even if it's in authentic form. You're not getting what the player actually wore. So why that jersey is at that price range is just beyond me. Second of all, when Nike took over MLB, of course, Majestic had it beforehand. There really hasn't been a big change. I know they've done the City Connect. Those jerseys look a little different. Some other teams, I think the Diamondbacks do different things or whatever. But across the board, the jersey, if you look at a current Nike jersey and compare it to the last year for Majestic, the jersey itself is pretty much the same jersey. But it's a higher price point just because it has a swoosh on the front. Just because of this. It's a higher price point. It's like, why? It's the same jersey. It still has that diaper on the back. The material is basically the same. Maybe there's an extra vent here and there. It's the same jersey. It hasn't changed that dramatically from Majestic to Nike. It's, as far as I can see, and I can only speak for myself. I go to the Phillies games. I go to this team store. I see the Nike jersey, the authentic for Bryce Harper or Real Muto, whoever they have. The jersey itself does not seem that much different than the authentic champions that I have of Bryce, which I got most of them cheap as hell because they were liquidating them because Nike was taking over. The jersey itself just does not seem that different, yet the price point is extremely high. And I don't know if you're just paying for the swoosh. I have no idea. And I can't even say that because I look at the price points for NBA, for NFL, and they seem fair to me. And I look at it for baseball, and again, this is the sport I love to collect the most, inauthentic, and it's just they're almost pricing me out, and it sucks because I love the jerseys, Now, I understand on PayPal you have that pay in 4 option where, okay, maybe you split it up a little bit. Maybe you're not having to, put that number down right away. But even with that, even when you catch a sale, it's like 20, 25. It's not that the sale only kind of takes away, the shipping and maybe the tax and maybe just a bit more on the jersey. But you're not saving a whole tremendous amount on the jersey itself. It sucks. But going forward, like I said, when I saw that Braves gold trim, aesthetically, when you put that a little back, the replica and the authentic, so the Atlanta Braves are one of those teams that don't do anything different. They don't even have a logo or anything on the sleeves, right? It's nothing different. The only thing they did with that is the gold trim, and they put the champs patch on there, right? So an authentic versus the replica, aesthetically, it doesn't look that much different. If you put the two together, right now the material is going to be different, the stitching is going to be different, what have you, right? But it still didn't justify the price point for that jersey, right? To get an authentic in that, opposed to just getting the replica, which I went with because it was a cheaper price point. I still used the paying for, but it was because I had to. But it was still a cheaper price point, and the jersey itself, if I hold it back, it's going to still look pretty similar to a authentic Atlanta Braves jersey because there's nothing extra on the jersey. That gold trim jersey, the only thing that was different aesthetically was the authentic had a Roman numeral and a little star on the sleeve. That's still not worth that bigger price point to me. I'm like, all right, so I'm not getting the Roman numeral and a star on one sleeve, which is a small, it's almost like a stamp star. It has the World Series, it signifies a World Series champion. It says the year, it puts the year on there, 2021. It is gold trim. I would rather non-gold trim in the jersey, but okay, it's what was available. The player-wise, I wanted Austin Riley. There was no Austin Riley available. And here's the other point that I have with Nike for the baseball. I'm going to go on a little rant here. I'm sorry. So, the last few years, the teams, even in the COVID year when the Dodgers won, the selection of players was almost the whole roster. I mean, when you went to Fanatics after they won, they had just an abundance of players. All different, the home version, the road version, all different ones, right? This is after they won the World Series. We're not even talking about last season when I got the Mookie Betts, when they became available again, and you had your full run of the gamut. And I understand some people had trouble with the gold trim jerseys, right? And that sucks, because if you're a diehard Dodger fan and wanted that gold trim jersey and had to, jump through hoops to get it, I know a few of the Dodger fans in our Jersey Heads community had those issues. It sucks. It really does. Now, me, I just wanted the jersey with the Champs patch, so it didn't matter to me. I grabbed the one that didn't have the Champ patch. And I got the authentic in that because it has a number on the front, it has the LA on the sleeve, so there was more going on in that jersey aesthetically than if I held it up to a replica. I could definitely see the differences, again, look-wise, aesthetically-wise, right? With the Braves, they don't have a number on the front. They don't have a team logo on the sleeve or something different on the sleeve. That jersey was aesthetically the same as an authentic. The only difference was the authentic, again, for the gold trim, had the Roman numeral for number of champions and the star. Okay, that's still not $450. I'm sorry, it just isn't, right? But as I was saying, so the choice of players, when the Nationals won, when the Astros won, and we're talking about, in recent years, the number of players are available. And even with Nike taking over for the Dodgers, the number of players were there. So the Braves won the World Series last year. I go on the Fanatics, and they had one player available in authentic, Ronald Acuna Jr., who I ended up getting for the gold trim. He didn't play in the World Series. I wanted a player, if I was to get that jersey, I wanted a player who played in the World Series, right? So I wanted Austin Riley. They didn't have Austin Riley, not even in a replica. They didn't even have a replica of the World Series MVP, who was Jorge Soler, who now is with the Marlins, but still, I mean, he won the World. You don't even have his jerseys available, right? They only had a handful of jerseys available, and this is just the Braves jersey with the Champs patch on there, right? I think they only had 2 or 3 players available, and only one available in authentic, and that was Acuna Jr. Now, they had the blank jersey with the Champ patch on there, and this is probably where I'm going to have to go going forward. But I'll talk about that in a second. We get to the gold trim jerseys, right? The gold trim jerseys come out, and you have a handful of players. You had Ozzie Albies, who I would have gotten, but they didn't have left in my size. You had, Swanson, who I just really wasn't feeling. I wanted that one as much. You had Max Fried, and you had Acuna Jr., and then you had the blank one with the Champ patch on there. And I'm like, all right, well, if I'm going to spend, I want to spend at least to get it already done up with the player name and number. And I went with Acuna Jr., even though he's not there, right? He's hurt right now. But two letters, to me, it justified it a little more. Now, I would have gotten Ozzie Albies, but again, they didn't have it in my size. I definitely would have gotten Austin Riley, but they didn't even make his jersey, which is kind of odd because he was a pretty big part of that team last year when they won. You would think they would have, right? Now, maybe they're available at the team shop in Atlanta at the stadium. I don't know. I mean, I didn't call them or anything. I saw this was available, so I went with it, I'm not going to say I settled on it because it is a jersey. If I don't want it, I'm not going to buy it, So, yeah, I saw it. I saw, okay, well, all right, the authentic price is $450. I'm not getting that much more with the authentic than the replica. Aesthetically, I'll just take the replica. And I did the same thing with the City Connect. And I'll probably do the same thing with most of the City Connects because everything that's on those jerseys in authentic form or on them on replica form also. The patch that's on them, they're on them on the replica form. Everything else. The only difference that I saw aesthetically for the Astros was the number on the back. The in this case Altuve 27. The number was more elongated and bigger. Now I don't know what picture they took, what size jersey they just put a stock photo up. I have no idea. I'll see it when it comes in the mail next month. That was the only thing that looked a little different to me as far as just eyeballing it up from an authentic to a replica. But everything else is on there. The patch is on there. The font's there. Everything that's on the authentic is on the replica. So I'll give them credit in that regard. But again, those jerseys, the authentic and the City Connect, are $472 without shipping, without tax. And I think one of the guys in our group, Eddie, shout out to Eddie, showed one of the Jackie Robinson salute jerseys. I think he showed a Texas Ranger, and it was over $500, with tax and shipping, for just a regular, Rangers jersey with the number 4, not even the name written, because, players just wear 42, just the 42 on the back. That's ridiculous for that. This is crazy. And with the City Connect, I'm sure it's the same thing, because they're just showing you the base price. They're not factoring in shipping. And a lot of times you can get free shipping deals or something like that. But even then, okay, so I'm saving like $7. All right. There's still tax. There's handling. There's different things there's this fee and that fee. And I know with Fanatics you get like fan cash towards your next item, and there's different things that you can kind of get this off or that off depending on what you bought before. And you always get the 20% deal when you buy something, but it excludes things sometimes. So, but $472 for an authentic just didn't make sense to me. It just didn't. So I went with the replica, and I'll probably go with the replica for those jerseys because aesthetically there's not much different when I eyeball them up, the authentic with the replica. And $472, even if I do the pay in 4, that's still ridiculous money. That's just, what are we doing? So I do take issue with Nike with their price point for baseball, particularly with authentics. I just think it's outrageous. It makes no sense. They can try to come up with any reason they want. It still won't make any sense to me. I mean, you're talking about these jerseys are more expensive than, I'll throw any other jersey out there. Mitchell & Ness Authentics, they're more expensive than Mitchell & Ness Authentics. They're more expensive than hockey jerseys, which I always think should be the most expensive jerseys because there's more to them. It's ridiculous, but that's why I went where I went. That's why I got the replica, even though I would love, my heart of hearts, I would love the authentic. Most of the baseball jerseys I have are authentics because that's what I want. But the price point, I can't justify that with some of these. If the replica aesthetically looking the same as an authentic, I'll go with the replica. Now, with other teams, I think I still will go with the authentic because there's something different. Maybe there's a number on the front. Maybe there's a logo or something else on the sleeve. And I know even that doesn't justify it, but at least it's a little different, and I feel like I'm getting something that definitely looks more like what they're going to wear on the field, and that's what I want at the end of the day. I'll do the paying for, okay, whatever, but it's not going to be regular, I'm not going to get these authentic Nike baseball authentics regular. I mean, the one thing I will say at least is. And with the Phillies, whenever they do the City Connect, I'll probably still go and get it right away. But it might be the replica. Because the thing about the Phillies is, I'm a partial season ticket holder, 17-game plan. They have an authentic booth. And the authentic booth, you can get authentic team issue or even game-worn jerseys cheaper. Think about this. These are team-issued jerseys on field. They were worn in some cases by players, even if it was some middle reliever or whatever, they were worn. They were part of the game, and you can get those cheaper than an authentic Nike from Fanatics. Yeah, it makes no sense. But I say that to say this. When the Phillies do the City Connect, what I'll do is I'll probably get the replica in Bryce Harper or whatever, and then either later that season or the next season, I will go to the authentic booth and I'll get just whatever team issue of some reliever, the authentic jersey of it, and I'll have the authentic of it, and I didn't have to pay the $472 plus shipping and tax for it on Fanatics or Lids or wherever it's going to be, right? It's like, I could just do it that way, and that might be better, right? So that's probably what I'll end up doing, and that way I'll have an authentic of it, and I'll pay half, and maybe even half the price of one on with Harper or whoever on the back of it from Fanatics. But as I was saying also about the player options, I don't understand it for the Braves. They had very few, and thinking about that, it's like, all right, well, is that going to be how it's going to have to be? Am I going to have to go into it? Whoever wins the World Series, eyeball it up real, because the thing about these jerseys move pretty quick, so you don't have a ton of time to think about it. Am I going to have to just eyeball it up, say, okay, who's available in authentic? If they don't have the player I want, just get a blank with the patch, send it off to Bill Henderson or such person who can make the the customization on the back. Just tell them the player name and number I want, and there it is. I may have to go in that route, and if I knew this ahead of time, I probably would have gone that route for just got a blank after they won with the champ patch and make it a Riley in that regard, But I just didn't think, because I'm used to them being available even now, and I don't know if the Braves are going to wear a patch signifying the champion. I know a lot of teams after the year after they win, they wear the patch, even if it's not the gold trim jersey. Like I showed you that Mookie Betts, the Dodgers wore that patch for part of, if not all, the season. And all of the teams have done it. The only time I've seen the Braves, so they had those series at home and they wore the gold trims for the whole homestand, and now they're on the road, and I don't see any patch on their road jersey. So I don't know. Maybe they're not wearing a champs patch. Maybe that's not going to be a thing. I don't know. I know last year in the World Series, if I'm not mistaken, they didn't even have World Series patches on the jerseys because they couldn't get them in to put on the jerseys with enough time or whatever it was. They had it on the hat, but I don't think they had it on the jersey. So that's something to think about too. Because I was wondering why the jerseys weren't done for the teams that were in the World Series, and they come to find out that they're not even wearing it in the World Series. I'm like, all right, that's kind of odd. And me, someone who enjoys the extras on a jersey, to see jerseys, teams in the World Series and no World Series patch on the jersey, I saw it on the hat, but I'm like, that's disappointing. Now the Braves had that 150 patch on there, but it's like, this is no World Series patch. Yeah. Well, maybe that was the year Atlanta wins. That's it. They don't even have jerseys with the World Series. So anyhow, but so that really wasn't an option last year, and maybe that was part of it. Maybe there just wasn't the availability for that stuff. But then again, the gold trim, and you're still kind of limited. And I don't know. I mean, where there's money to be made, you would think that they would have more availability, more options. I mean, even have the jerseys available with just the customization as an option. I mean, they have it for every other, sport, every other. You always have these jerseys, and then I know it's a stock photo with the 00, and you can customize into whoever you want. I mean, they don't even offer that as an option, both after Atlanta won and when they had the gold trim, as the availability on those sites. They didn't even have an option where you can do customization for any of those jerseys. So you would have to just get a blank and have it sent to, Henderson or any of these other, custom creators and have them do it. And there's an extra charge for that, and what have you. Now I get it. You're not paying as much for a blank jersey as you would pay for an already done up, name and number jersey. But still, it's extra work. Now you got to get it, put it in the mail. Then there's another wait time, and I've only done it once, and that was with Big Time Jersey. Shout out to Patsy Elmer for a couple jerseys that have custom done. It's not to say I won't do it again. In fact, I probably will have to do it again, and get these jerseys blank with the patch and send it off to Bill Henderson or whoever and have it custom done. But again, you're talking about, okay, well, there's extra, involved in that. I don't know. I'm just one of those that likes it already done, get it in the mail, here it is. The custom route is an option, and it's probably one I'm going to have to delve into more, particularly if I run into the same issues that I did, with after the Braves won, where there just isn't enough options out there, and you have to kind of, think outside the box and create one of your own, have one created for your own. But it's an option, and I might have to do that. So Anyhow, let's move ahead here. I know I've gone on for 44 minutes, 45 minutes, and I haven't shown the kicks, right? So, like I said, full disclosure, I'm not a sneakerhead. This isn't something I normally go crazy for, but I had to have this this particular pair because, I mean, it's a player that, I certainly was a big fan of when he was playing. Still am. My all-time favorite Sixer. I do have the questions from when they re-released them in the original colorway, the red, white, and blues. Oh, I was so happy to get those because I never got them originally, and when I had that, I considered it a second chance, and I got them a few years ago. I was just super stoked to get them. I have yet to wear them though, but I will. I will definitely give them wears. But then these came out a bit ago, and like I said, I'm not one of those who usually goes, sneaker shopping, like go different places trying to find a pair. So I did that for these, and they weren't available. The only place that had them, they didn't have them in my size. So I went to the secondary markets because even on Foot Locker, they didn't have it in my size anymore. So luckily, there was a pair available on Macari, and I got a really good deal on these. They were already cheaper than retail, and I made the offer, and they accepted. So shout out to the seller. So I got the Question Lows and the Old Phillies colorway. Oh my goodness, these are, man. And like I said, these are, these were secondhand, still in really good condition. You got the 3 on the back. So these, when I saw these, like I envisioned the Harper jersey, right? The powder blue because the 3. The 3 on the back, because obviously AI number 3, and that's what these shoes are made for first and foremost. But Harper wears number 3, right? So you got the 3. I can wear that with the Harper powder, and it's the old school powder blue. So this goes perfect, right? But I also wear these with other Philly throwbacks too. I have a few. How many Philly powder blue jerseys do you need? I still need some more. I still want a Gary Maddox, and I want a Manny Trio. There's some players from that 80 team that I still want to get, whether it's the powder blue or the home, the burgundy pinstripe. I still, I need a few more of those. And a Dick Allen. I still want to, Slim, he knows. I still need a Dick Allen Phillies jersey, but these will go with the throwback Philly jerseys, mainly the road powder blues. Well, now they wear them as the home ones, but these are super, super nice. So glad to have gotten them in my possession. My second pair of questions. There's another pair out there that I would like to get. That's the old Eagles colorway. So we'll see whenever that happens. But for now, I got those, and I got like this, I guess if you want to call them the second carnation of the originals, red, white, and blues. But just to show you, so I've had these for a bit. I probably should wear these too. But I got these a fit back from Ross. So those weren't the first shoes or sneakers in the old Phillies colorway that I ever owned. All right, so I had these, and I will be donning these this season at a game. And these are these were purchased at Ross a bit back. I have yet to put them on, but they did come with the extra laces too. Here's the extra. Here's some Adidas. The old Philly colorway right there. These were a Ross find some years ago. There. Still have to don these, and I will. I was waiting because obviously, we had the COVID year where you couldn't go to games, and then you had last year where it was kind of, couldn't go to as many games, but then I just never got around to putting them on. And but I will definitely be putting these on with some other, throwback Philly jerseys. And then I have this pair that I got from Burlington a while back too. So these are Fila. These are Filas, but they're in the more current, colorway, the red and white. So these would go with your more, home pinstripe, maybe the road grays I can throw this on with, the red ones that they wear as the alternate, so that would go with those. They're just, nothing too crazy about them, but again, I wanted a pair in the current Philly colorway, so that's what I got a little bit back, and I will be donning those at some point this season too. So like I said, not a sneakerhead by any stretch of the imagination, but there's sometimes, hey, as we all know, there are ones that you see and it just hits. And as a jersey head, I'm like, yeah, I would go with, I have quite a few jerseys. I know Snacks is like, look at it. Yeah, I know. I need a pair of orange and black kicks to go with the Oriole jerseys and the Flyer jerseys too, right? Yeah. Maybe like a navy blue and red for all the Indian jerseys in the collection. Now I know they're the Guardians, but at the time they got the. I know, and there'll be more of those coming too. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. There'll be more. Can't stop where I am now. It will keep going. So yes. So the show and tell portion is over. My rant on Nike Authentic MLB is over. Again, it hurts me, man. Those prices, and there's still so many. There's so many of them out there that I want to get, and I don't know when. And I know some people are like, well, if you just, if you got this, jersey or that jersey, found this way of getting this team issue or look online and stuff. I get that, and it's not to say I wouldn't, but there's like players I want to get, and to do that and then to send it somewhere and it custom, there's, I don't know. I don't want to say there's just too much involved with it because there's not. You can get anything custom anymore. But there's just something about getting the jersey already done up. And I just wish I didn't have to be put through the coals, to get this jersey as far as the price is concerned. It's ridiculous. You should never have to pay close to $500 or even over $500 or over for some of these jerseys after the taxes and shit. It just makes no sense. I don't know what Nike's doing. That is the most concerning thing to me. And it's not like they're doing this across the board. Because, like I said, I think the other sports for the NBA and the NFL, I think they're fair price points for what they're selling. And I understand people have problems with, well, they don't make everything in authentic, and you don't know when they're coming out. I know when the City Edition stuff comes out, that's the problem, right? And again, I'm not really looking for authentics as much during that time, but I understand the frustration. I really do. And I've heard being in the community, within the groups on Facebook like Kings of Throwbacks and Jerseys, Kicks and Lids, and you hear it, and you see all the gripes that people have, and it's just across the board. And it is a problem, even getting something like this, a replica jersey, if I didn't jump on this when I did, and I knew as a jersey head, you have to get these right away. Otherwise, they're gone. And I can't, I've worn this in a mall, and I had someone walk up to me, hey, where'd you get that? I've been looking for one. Like, I got it when it first came out. Now, I know there's the NBA Europe, I guess. They have their site, the store, and they still have stock, and you can get them there and whatnot. I was tempted, to get a Tyrese Maxey in this. I would like to get a Tyrese Maxey, maximum overdrive, I call him, but at some point that's going to happen. But, in this style, the Spectrum, I would love to get more, in this. Maybe I will someday. We'll see. And that's another thing, that the players, they only had Embiid and Simmons, and we know one of the guys wasn't on the team this year. So the only player that you can get stateside of a player actually wore this jersey this season is Embiid. And there's nothing wrong with Embiid jersey, but still, Maxey, or Harris was the other guy available too. But Maxey, it's like some of these other players, like, now you'll start to see Maxey for jerseys available, right? Starting next season, I'm sure Maxey jerseys will be everywhere. But I don't know, just one of those things. But I love this jersey. This is my favorite City Edition Sixer jersey to date. I love the Spectrum theme. I get the hook for this. That was the first stadium I saw a Sixer game in, so it meant something to me. And like I said, but if I didn't move on this right away, even as a Swingman replica, it gone within the same day. So, that's one of those things too. But I don't expect it to ever be, but I just wish they would get it together, with the baseball pricing. It just makes no sense for these prices. 472 for the City Connect jerseys. It makes no sense. None. Just because it's something different. Yeah, but it's still, it doesn't mean you have to rake people over the coals to get one. It makes no sense, at least in authentic form, and again, I would prefer that. If I had my choice, I would always take the authentic in baseball, but that price just made no sense. If it's the same looking jersey, everything else, patch and everything, I just couldn't do it. I couldn't justify it. Like I said, there's a way to do it with the Phillies. Maybe whenever they do it, maybe I'll look to do that. But otherwise, it is what it is. But, shout out to everyone out there who have taken 55 minutes of their time to watch this. Got game 2 coming up pretty soon for the Sixers against Toronto. Big win on a Saturday night for the Sixers, and they looked really good, and that was good. It was nice to watch a Sixer game and not be yelling through most of it. But we'll see. It's one game, and we'll see how the rest of the series goes, and hopefully good things for my Sixers, but we'll see. I will have more in this series coming up, and I know I want to do more vlogging at malls and such. Right now I'm in billing cycle purgatory, so I gotta wait till the next the next cycle starts, which is next week. So be going back to some malls next week, and I will be doing some vlogging there, so be on the lookout for that. And shout out to all of you as always. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. All right, another episode of In the Life has concluded. Thanks for watching. What do you always got to do, right? You got to leave those likes. You got to subscribe if you haven't already done so. And if you do, make sure you hit the bell icon so you get alerted to future content by yours truly, which will be coming up really soon. So anyhow, that's going to be it for now. I will see you in the next one. Take care, everyone. Bye. Go Sixers!